To whip egg whites for a souffle, you need a very clean bowl. I'm using a copper bowl, but you don't need to have a copper bowl. You can use a glass bowl or a stainless steel bowl. And add your egg whites and a pinch of salt. This is mostly just for flavor. And then just start whipping. I have an extra large whisk. Now, the idea is if you have a copper bowl, you don't need to add any cream of tartar. Acid stabilizes egg whites, and a copper bowl is naturally acidic. So if you were going to use glass or stainless steel, add a little bit of cream of tartar, and you would want to do it at this stage, which shows you the egg whites are actually quite frothy, and which means that they're foamy. And then just keep whisking. And you'll see how quickly these egg whites start to mount up. You see they're starting to turn white, but they're not forming any sort of peak at this point. They're still quite liquidy. And we want to just keep beating until we get to something called the soft peak stage. See how the peak kind of curls over itself? It's not really stiff. Now, if you're going to make a dessert, this is the point where you start adding sugar and beating that in until we get a stiff peak. If you're not making a dessert, you just keep beating until you do get a stiff peak. So I'm going to add a little bit of sugar, a little at a time, about 1 tablespoon at a time. And sugar adds a great deal of stability to the whites. But if you're not making a savory dish, then certainly you don't want to add any sugar. You're making a savory dish. Now you see how nice and fluffy this is getting? Now I want to show you this is still not quite the stiff peak. We're almost there. And you'll also notice that the egg whites have increased in volume. They increase in volume about 7 to 8 times. And you want to have the egg whites at room temperature. Now let's see where we're at. Okay, can you see that? That's like a stiff peak, and I'll show you what it looks like on a regular rubber spatula. See, it holds its shape nicely. I can turn it upside down. The egg whites don't fall off. And we're done.